Breaking into the golf tournament for just a few minutes as we're following breaking news here in the 41 Action newsroom. After nearly a month-long search, police have finally found double murder suspect James Horn Jr. Police confirm they shot and killed him about 11:15 this morning at a wildlife area near the Pettis and the Johnson County, Missouri lines. He is the man suspected of murdering a woman and her son earlier this week. The same woman he's also accused of holding in a box for months earlier this year. As you can see, Sky Tracker is high above the scene there. Our Dia Wall is live on the ground. Just talked to the assistant police chief in Clinton, Missouri. That is at the Kern Memorial Wildlife Center in Green Ridge, Missouri. That's just south of Whiteman Air Force Base, about an hour and a half of Kansas City. 41 Action News reporter Dia Wall is live there. Dia, what did you hear from police today? They did say there was a shootout.
Yeah, Amy, that's right. There was a shootout at the home you see right behind me. We're about a half a mile outside of Pettis County, but we are in Johnson County now. The task force got a tip, and that's what led them to come here. We talked to the assistant police chief from Clinton, and he told us how they found Horn just inside.
They encountered Mr. Horn. He was in a closet. He was armed. He refused to surrender. He threatened the search team with a weapon, with a handgun, and he was shot and killed.
Now, I did ask if Horn returned fire, but they are not prepared to say if he did at this time. But as you just heard, there was a shootout at this home just after 11 o'clock this morning. He refused to surrender. He was given that option, but he decided not to. Now, Missouri Conservation actually owns this property. It was unoccupied, but they don't know how long Horn was inside. They do believe he may have been out in some of the wooded areas around here during that time. So we're still working to kind of figure out what all they found. But they said no surprises. It was as you would expect. So it's still an active scene. They're still combing through to see if there's any additional evidence in there that they want to collect and bring out. But just a really sad scene. But they have contacted the Sutton family. They are still in a safe place. They said they will no longer be offering them protection, but they will be supporting them with anything they need at the Clinton Police Department. We're reporting live this morning in Johnson County, this afternoon actually. Dia Wall, 41 Action News.
And Dia, just a quick question. I do know that several people, they use that wildlife area. So people there in Clinton and Sedalia, so many people, as the police chief said today, have to be very relieved that he has been caught and maybe this case is coming to an end.
Well, Lieutenant Lynch said everyone has been contacted. They even contacted authorities down in Mississippi to let them know that Horn had indeed been found and killed. He actually did not speak with the Sutton family personally, but I mean, as you can imagine, it must be a big sigh of relief for them to know that they are safe and sound and that James Horn is going to be off the streets moving forward. He also told us that the FBI did help in the form of giving them some information to kind of work with, not to mention the marshal. So we're just still trying to piece together all the information that we've gathered and bring it to you. We'll be back in another live report straight ahead.
Dia Wall, thanks so much. Live there on the scene in Clinton, Missouri. To give you an idea, again, where this is, it's all taking place in Missouri at the Kern Memorial Wildlife Center. That is about an hour and a half southeast of Kansas City. And we've got crews going to Clinton there. We'll have live coverage at 5, 6, and 10 on 41 Action News. Again, to confirm, police say they shot and killed double murder suspect James Horn about 11:15 this morning. Police say James Horn Jr., who you're looking at here, holed himself up armed inside that abandoned building owned by the Missouri Conservation Department. Police say he threatened them before they shot and killed him this morning. Horn Jr. faced a long list of charges after a Missouri woman kept captive in a wooden box for 4 months. She finally escaped in April. She was shot to death this week along with her son. Her ex-boyfriend, James Horn, who we're talking about here, who allegedly confined her to that box, is suspected in the Thursday killings of Sandra Sutton and her 17-year-old son, Zachary. Family found them shot to death in her brother's home in Clinton. That was about 4:30 Thursday morning. This was not Horn's first run with the law. He's been convicted and accused in multiple rapes. We will continue to follow this story. We'll have the very latest on the story on our website, KSHB.com. We'll update you there and tonight on 41 Action News at 5, 6, and 10. We'll see you then.